Hey there, welcome to the QB Show. My name is Stacy Kildall, and my co-hosts are Woody Adams and Dawn Brolin. We want to ask you guys to take a couple minutes to visit each one of our sponsors and check them out. They've been helping us bring the show to you for the last 4 years. We have Avalara.com, making sales tax less taxing. They will calculate and pay your sales tax liability and take care of all of your returns as well. We have Tsheets.com. This is probably the #1 employee-rated time tracking application on the planet, if not the galaxy, and an amazing team of people behind it. We have Skyline Hosting by UniDataIT.com. This is where we host all of our QuickBooks software as well as our other software like Microsoft Office. So please take a minute and visit them, and I hope you enjoy our show.
There we are. Sweet. Welcome to the QB Show, formerly Radio Free QuickBooks. Happy to have you aboard. It's just going to be Dawn Brolin and myself tonight. Dawn, how you doing there?
I'm doing great, Woody. Just had our 6 team members started today.
Yes. Let's explain that. So did you already announce that you were hiring somebody else? I think you must have, right?
I think I did, but we've had a couple of last week actually. So we've had interesting last couple of weeks. We had a client lose their 20-year-old son, and that put us back. We had a great team meeting, and then next day that we were contacted. It was horrible. So
that's tough.
Yeah, that's tough. And then Wendy, her mother-in-law, passed away a week ago Sunday. So man down.
Yep.
Man down there. So she's been out for a week and a half. And Kevin in our office has been sick.
Oh man.
I'll be right up. I'm like, if you come to my office, I'll probably kill you. So don't come here. I don't need you. If I go down, it's all going down.
Yeah, right.
So it's been, we've been scarce in our staffing. But before that, I had planned on hiring a what I call a project manager, for lack of a better word. I don't think it's really an office manager, because that would just mean she's managing me.
Right.
Which is impossible, because that's not going to happen. So yeah, I'm really excited about 2015. I think 2015 is going to be, and I don't do 2000. We've talked about this before. I don't call it 2015. We call it 2015.
Too long.
Because 2015 would sound weird. So, but we're really planning. We're pushing forward hard. We have new clients that we can't even onboard because we're just so busy. Clients, I was hoping that I had the last week or week and a half to be able to relax and do a lot of administrative planning and that stuff. That hasn't happened.
No.
Not even 1 minute. Because we're just inundated with work. Anne is a champion. She's working like just a mad woman. She's like, I don't even know if she's human. She's out there. She's cranking it out. So, but we're really excited. Our plans are to launch a new website. We've got.
Wow. Yeah,
we're gonna do which I think is a great suggestion for people out there who are, working on their year end and year beginning, whatever you want to call it. At this point, it's kind of we've been working on it for about a month, and one of the pieces we're going to do is a full client shift. We're going to shift clients around.
Yeah.
Mr. Rister.
Chris is in.
What's up?
How are you? I love your haircut.
Thank you.
Oh, and let's do this, because I'll do the blurb I have to read, and then because Chris only has like 15 minutes, so
yeah, we need him.
We'll do those questions he sent, and we'll talk about the winner and stuff, and then we'll go back to your 2015 info. It's really cool, but congrats on hiring the 6th employee. I think that's awesome. You're just taking over Connecticut, I think.
The United States. It's not even just about Connecticut. Yeah. We don't really like the Connecticut people. Don't tell them I said that.
No.
Love Connecticut.
They're not ready to listen to the show anyway. But back on the QB Show, happy to have Chris Repetto dialing in from what he terms as the Purple Room in New Jersey.
It is the Purple Room.
Yeah, and Chris, thanks for coming on and taking the time. I know you're busy, and I have a jacket just like that. Look, Dawn, see? That's the QB Gear jacket, QBO Gear jacket. Love it.
We all do. Did you lose me?
No, we still have you. You're very good.
Hold on, stand by.
I had an error message for a minute.
I have this
no,
one.
You're up. That's just a thing that pops up. And I just needed to say that though, Intuit's not affiliated with the show, and the opinion statements are things that I might say are not necessarily reflected by Intuit. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. And welcome to the QB show. And Stacy's actually on vacation with her family in Florida. I think we mentioned that last week. She's at a movie with her kids. So she will not be on. But it's just going to be Dawn and I, and then Chris for the next
Chris looks awesome.
15 minutes. So Chris, what's going on? Yeah.
Chris Repetto.
You guys are looking good too. Let me start by wishing you both a happy New Year and happy holidays to everyone listening.
You too.
You as well.
How was it? What do you got? Big plans for tomorrow? What are you guys doing?
Working.
Working. Year end. Fun.
Yeah, I'm on the front end of a 5-day weekend again. I have no plans. We're just hanging out with the family. So
Great.
Pretty sweet.
Awesome.
Now
Awesome.
I want to make sure I was clear about the whole jacket thing, Woody.
Yes, you want
If
one.
I had one, I would probably wear it, but I don't. So I'll continue wearing Team Brolin.
Yeah.
Because I got nothing.
I'll try to get you one. I know someone who has some.
See what we can do.
We'll see.
See,
Chris, you're on. Before you announce so you're helping us. I think this is the final biggest gift we have for our 4th year anniversary. So I wanted to thank you and Intuit for providing this really cool gift. But did you want to just do the questions first and then do the announcement, or it's up to you?
Yeah, we'll talk about the announcement we made today, which is the QuickBooks Connect local tour. And then we'll finish up with the big winner. That way, folks will listen to the next 10 minutes before we announce the winner.
That's awesome.
That's how you do it.
No, that's good. Sorry about that. I had something in my throat. But no, thank you. And we have mentioned the change of the name from the city tour, like last year, to the QB Connect local. And we'll talk about the one coming up in Providence on January 7th.
Yep.
At the Omni there, downtown Providence. Don Brown will be there, MB Raimondi, and Macquarie, and a bunch of guys. So, what is this QuickBooks Connect local tour? What was the announcement today?
Yeah, so what we announced today was a 15-city tour that's called QuickBooks Connect Local, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's bringing some of that magic and some of that connection that we did last fall in San Jose. And we know that we announced kind of late in the season, and folks wanted to go but couldn't quite make it, or maybe the price of the hotels or things were outside folks' budget because they weren't preparing for it early in the year. So we wanted to make sure that we went out to the people, essentially, and we're starting with this 15-city tour that's kind of repackaging the QuickBooks Online certification tour for pro advisors. And what we did was, the components of QuickBooks Connect were educate, inspire, and connect. And so the education part we've got with the certification training. We've added some speakers to each city to get that inspiration, which is not really product focused, just things that you can learn from the speakers. They've overcome challenges. They've moved their practice to the cloud. And anybody there, whether you're using QuickBooks or not, or getting certified or not, can benefit from that inspirational speech at the top. And then the connection part, we've invited some developers from the QuickBooks ecosystem to come and show their applications and show how they connect with QuickBooks and what their products do. T-Sheets is there, Bill.com is there, a couple others. And so we're enabling accountants and developers to connect with each other, and for the accounting professionals to say, hey, you know what, I really need your product to do this, or it would be great if you could do that. So they're hearing directly from the accounting professionals, from their customers, what they can do, and so that we're making those connections. So it's a 14-city certification tour, rebranded
Nice.
QuickBooks Connect Local, and then stay tuned for more because we're going to be doing more QuickBooks Connect Local events throughout the summer.
Oh, nice. That's good to know. I figured we would. I'll be at the Dallas one, and I'm sure there'll be. Stacy's doing several, and
Yeah.
everybody's out there. So that's exciting. Now, what's special about the Rhode Island one? We've been talking about 3 weeks now, but it's a little different than just the 15-city tour.
Yeah, so at the Omni Providence Hotel, and Dawn, you'll be one of our key speakers there. The difference is that there's going to be a lot more speakers, a lot more sessions from accounting professionals. Ron Baker's going to be there. MB Raimondi's going to be there. We'll have panel discussions. There'll be a Barry Macquarie's going to be there leading a panel as well, I believe. And then we're going to have our Innovation Catalyst doing a Design for Delight session, which is basically how Intuit goes about making our products and solving our problems and figuring out how do we get inside the customer's shoes, how do we create solutions that are easy and that are efficient, and teaching some of that magic to the attendees. So the only difference between the other 14 shows and the Rhode Island event is that there won't be a specific QBO certification or training offered at the Rhode Island event, but there's going to be so much more that anybody in New England who's an accounting professional should definitely take part in this event. Dawn, what do you think? You're speaking at the event. What are you looking forward to about it?
I'm super fired up about, honestly, the whole thing. Of course, seeing MB is always a treat. She always has things to offer outside of just the day-to-day things that we spend so much time doing. And so I'm excited about helping, and connecting with people. Heather Satterley and I have, just probably seen each other in passing, but never had a moment to spend with each other. And I'm really excited about the event. I think I'm really pumped that it's going to be in New England. I love that it's in Providence. It's literally an hour and 15 minutes away from me. And so I have been saying, and I'm still saying it, and people can come and bring it on, that you need to show up or shut up, New England. Because, don't perform like the Patriots did on Sunday. We're going to show up for this game on December 7th and rock it out. And so I'm really excited. I really hope people come out and support it. I hope people come out and learn from it. And it's our opportunity to learn right in our backyard, and we want them to come again.
And here's the thing.
That's probably my biggest message. I'm going to have it.
Yeah, and here's my big message. The whole tour is free. So,
hello, free CPE for the love. If there's not anyone other than an attorney who doesn't like free things, it's an accountant.
That's right. That's right. So, I kind of ran through the agenda pretty quickly, but if you want more information and to register for the event, go to qbclocal.com, and that's for the Providence, Rhode Island event specifically. If you're interested in the 14-city certification tour, you can go to our Intuit Academy page at accountant.intuit.com/training, and then you'll see there's a button on the featured training sessions called QBO Training Across the U.S. And you click on that, and you can get into the register for any of those. And our next two are going to be in Miami and Mountain View, California, Miami, Florida, Mountain View, California, on January 6th. And Brad Smith, Intuit's CEO, is going to appear and speak at the January 6th event in Mountain View, California, and share kind of some of his inspirational words on how he leads a team and how he prioritizes and how he runs our company. And he's a genius. So I would definitely say if you're in the area, definitely show up for that at least.
Absolutely. And so I would love to kind of, is it time for the winner? Is that what we do now? They don't leave me alone and attending the show very often, so which means you and I can do whatever we want, which is super fun.
I know. Did we lose? We lost Woody? Just you and I?
We lost. He's kind of there, but he's just a picture right now. But he's here now.
We got to run to the place. What do you want to do?
I know. We can do anything we want to do. So let's talk about. Well, so let's talk a little bit about let's talk about the prize, because I think just announcing a winner is not going to do it even an ounce of justice, and I would love to hear your take, and then I'm going to tell you what my experience was, at least at QuickBooks Connect this past October. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, so QuickBooks Connect, the national show, we're doing another one. It's going to be in the fall. It's going to be in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, San Jose, Santa Clara-ish area.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If we have 50,000 people come next Wednesday to Providence, even though it can only hold 1,500, would you consider switching it to the East Coast? 50,000.
50,000?
Yeah, bro. Next Wednesday.
We did last year's event, and we kind of were like, let's try it and see what happens. And we got 4,000 people to attend, and we gave them 4 months notice or something, and everybody showed up, and we hit all our goals, and and if you were there, I mean, it was a great event, and it blew us away. I mean, we were the ones working on it, and we walked in, and we were like, oh my God, look at this stage, look at this screen, and the people were great. So we didn't know if we'd have a second one until we were there, and then Brad announced, let's do it again with Bill Rancic from this stage. and I looked at my coworkers who kind of put this together. We were like, all right, it's on, let's go. So yeah, we're going to do another one, and there's so many Intuit employees that work the event, and that was one of the things we heard loud and clear, was that people love to meet the employees, and we were the best ambassadors for the brand because everybody was so helpful and great. So there's a lot of folks that are in the Mountain View Bay Area that work the event, over 100. So it made sense to have it local just because of the workforce. But in the future, we'll definitely look at the possibilities of either doing multiple shows a year, which is kind of scary to even think about. But,
oh my goodness!
But getting to the East Coast, or at least to Middle America. But that's kind of what this local tour is about: is getting some of that experience on a very small scale, but some of it out to different cities across the U.S. and then hopefully whets people's appetite to go to the big show in the fall.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, so I would love to just mention, at least, we've talked a little bit about it on the show before, and, from my experience, QuickBooks Connect absolutely blew me away. Obviously we've all been to, well, not all, it's not fair to say, but lots of us have been to lots of conferences, and honestly, it was the best I've ever been to. The amount of education, the different types of education you could get at QuickBooks Connect were like no other conference I've ever been to. So there were tax sessions, which you don't typically see at an accounting conference, mixing tax conversations together. And I'm just off the top of my head, that's really the first one I've ever been to that had that mix of practice management to QuickBooks Online. So people that have never even experienced QuickBooks Online were able to touch it, feel it, play with it, and do whatever they got. They were able to really get involved in what was happening. So it was a phenomenal experience. And I'll tell you what, listen, if you don't go, if Intuit has an event in your area for the tour that's coming, and you don't go to it, I'm just going to say shame on you, because you have to experience what Intuit does for the practitioners at these events. It's, you're not going to get, Lay's potato chips and a 1/4 sandwich of, maybe. Right. I mean, I like peanut butter jelly. I'm not going to lie, but they just go all out. And anybody that they're associated with, anybody that's been to one of those conferences can back me up 100%. So this event is phenomenal.
Yeah, I was going to say that was one of the key things that we when we were putting the show together from scratch, really, we looked at every other show that was out there on the accounting front, the small business front, developer front, and we kind of took the parts that were great and we created new ones on our own, and we kind of said, let's make sure that every experience that we can manage here is different than people are used to. The registration, the way that we have the main stage set up, let's make it more in the round instead of a square room with rows and rows of chairs. We had couch seating and just these little things that Cara DeFrayis and folks at Manifold and Rob Lanassi just went and looked at every detail and said let's do it differently. And the food was fantastic, and Train was the concert, so it was off the charts. And I think you're right. If you didn't go last year, go. If you went last year, bring somebody. It's going to be tough to top, but we're going to do our best.
Woody, go ahead and take it, buddy.
Yeah, you guys hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Sorry, for some reason it just started freezing up, and then I had to go out and come back in. But thanks, Dawn. So you guys already said the website, Chris, where they go for just the local events, qbclocal.com, right?
qbclocal.com for the Rhode Island event, and then if you go to the Intuit Academy site, accountant.intuit.com/training, and then you'll see the QBO free training across the U.S. For the QBO certification tour. And then we just talked about the big show, and if you want to put your name and email address on our site, that basically says, as soon as we announce the date and the registration and the location, you'll be the first to hear about how to sign up for QuickBooks Connect 2015. You can go to qbcon2015.com and just put your name and email address. That's all we ask you for is just your email address. So you're all set.
qbcon2015.com and then qbclocal.com for the Rhode Island event happening on Wednesday, January 7th. So 8 days from now. Now, can we do the big winner and explain what is the gift, though? This is a pretty cool gift, right?
So the gift is, we heard that. Yeah, we heard last year that we purposely made the price of the event a tenth of what other accounting shows were, because we wanted folks to come, and we knew we were kind of late in season to announce, and folks hadn't budgeted for it. So we kept the price really low. But we heard that a lot of the barriers of folks attending was the travel costs. So what I'm giving away tonight, and you guys put on your Facebook page a call to arms saying, hey, what do you want to see at the next QuickBooks Connect 2015? And we got a ton of great responses I've been looking at in the last couple of days of what we can do, and all those ideas are going to go right to myself and the other 5 or 6 people that are on the core team that put the show on, and the hundreds that help us out. So every idea is going to be looked at and weighed, and don't be surprised if you see a lot of those come to life in the fall. But randomly, you guys picked one person who commented, and they will get a free ticket to QuickBooks Connect 2015, which includes airfare, hotel, travel. You're our guest, essentially, to come to the event in 2015, and we couldn't be happier to have you.
That's an amazing
gift. Huge. Yeah, that's huge. That is awesome, and thanks for giving the show that to give out and helping us celebrate here, Chris. The 4th anniversary. It's been 4 years,
but I mean, thank you guys for everything you do for us and our products and our company, and it's the least we could do.
No, that's awesome.
I just want to say, when I started on the show, I was like 15, so I've appreciated you growing up with me, Chris. Because Chris is like a brother to me. I love him. So thank you so much. And I just want to say another quick little thing. It's the end of the year. It's the time to be a little sappy. But I have truly enjoyed all of the things that I've ever had the honor and privilege to do with Intuit. It's a company that I think every company should emulate and try to be like. And I want to just say that one comment you had mentioned about, you have 100 staff. It felt like 1 million, because there just were Intuit people at QuickBooks Connect absolutely stinking everywhere, and it was so fun. And you were like, oh, wait a minute, I haven't seen you in so many years. But I think so much of that is attributed to Scott Cook and his commitment to the company before. And if you've read his book, if you haven't read his book, you should. But he only hires good people. I don't know how it happens. I don't get that. I'm still working on that, trying to evaluate him and analyze him. But he's done it, and he's gotten it done. And it's you guys, Woody, Chris, Kim Amspa. I mean, the list will go on forever, and I would forget someone. I don't want to get anyone angry. But I can say that I really feel like I've really gotten some great friendships out of my relationship with Intuit as a corporation. It's more than that, and I can't wait for 2015. We're gonna crush it. It's simple.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. I can remember the people that work on my team. You mentioned Kim, and there's everybody on my team is just great, and it's a passion for helping the customers and helping you guys and helping you be successful, and it's genuine. It comes across in everything we do. And I'm emailing today with folks on my team that we're all on vacation, and we're still kind of dealing with an upset customer on social media. We're like, how do we help them and make sure Mindy gets the right response so she can get out there? And no one's like, hey, I'm off. Sorry. It's like, hey, we got a problem. Let's fix it. So we're happy to hear it's coming through. So.
Well, I'm glad
that's awesome.
You're not the only one who's on vacation and working constantly, because I thought I was on vacation. I'm looking for that thing, and I just must be looking in the wrong place. I must be looking in the right drawer for that vacation, because it ain't here. It ain't a Powerful Accounting. So I'm glad to hear that, so we're all together.
Right. So let's get to the winner, because I got my bands for 6 minutes. I got to hit the road.
I know, you got to go. So the winner is, and drum roll if we have it. Yes, Michelle Tank Semin. That's S-E-M-A-N. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Michelle Tank. I love that middle name, Semin, or Seman. Semin, I think. And Michelle, congratulations. This is our biggest gift that we've done, and it's going to be huge. Be happy to see you out at QuickBooks Connect, and we're going to Intuit's paying your travel and hotel. So
I hope
hopefully
she.
that'll help them to see
I hope she lives on the East Coast. It'd be terrible if she lived like in the Bay Area. And I'd pay for a cab for her to get there. So hopefully she's on the East Coast and it's worthwhile trip. But
Yeah.
if she's local, we'll figure something else out. But
Right on. So when's your guys' next gig, and then you should head out?
What's that?
When's your next gig, and then you should head out?
Oh, thanks for the plug. My next gig, if you're in New Jersey, January 9th at the Long Valley Brew Pub in Long Valley, New Jersey.
That sounds fun.
Indestructible Dog Bingo, classic rock, Grateful Dead. Check us out on YouTube, and I'm off to rehearse.
Name in the band
All
again?
right, Chris.
Indestructible Dog
Bingo. Yeah.
All right, we love that.
Yep.
Chris, thank you again. To go jam out. We'd love a little video at some point. You know, I'll YouTube. You said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the YouTube page, but
I'll post a couple this week.
Thanks,
right
buddy.
on. Well, have fun. Thanks for coming.
All right, thanks, guys. Happy
Thanks.
New Year.
Wow.
Right
Yeah.
on. All right, very cool. So Don, that was Chris Repetto from the Purple Room in New Jersey, and he's going to go jam on some electric guitar, lead guitar, and do some Dead song. Probably drink a couple beers. It's all fun.
I hope so.
Good stuff. Yeah, and you can always YouTube Indestructible Dog Bingo. They have a bunch of videos there of live shows and stuff like that. So a lot of fun. That'll be January 9th. 2 days before that, Rhode Island, QB Connect Local, Providence. So big thing in Rhode Island, big stuff. So go to qbclocal.com for that info. Don will be there as well. You bringing anybody else from your team?
So I'm bringing Nicole. I had planned on Nicole's my new right hand, but I planned on bringing the whole team, and we're still kind of in negotiations only because two-man down last couple weeks has really pushed us behind the 8 ball. But I think I'm going to bring 4. 4 out of 6 are going to come to the event, and I got to have a couple people holding down the fort. And but we're coming. We're going to represent. Powerful Team Brolin will be there, and we are really, really pumped about it. And it's there's going to be a lot of conversation about your firm, about your practice, and moving your practice forward. And that's really critical information as we move into 2015, as we're growing. So I think if you're ready to grow your practice or systematize or get all your pieces your puzzle put together, it's worth the investment of time.
That's awesome. All right, well, good stuff, and hopefully I don't know why I keep getting kicked out. I actually moved from Chrome to Firefox, and Firefox seems to be doing a little better. It's just strange. All right, so Don, we have some. All right, so we went over that. Right on, Michelle Tank Semin. Awesome.
That's cool.
And again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. S-E-M-A-N, good stuff. So, Don, here's one. I don't know if you answered this. This is was from Karen Magno with TPI, and she reached out to us. Nonprofit client who has about 75 classes. They need individual profit and loss reports for each of these classes on a regular monthly basis. So they're just doing it every month, and someone's spending 2 hours. Is there a way to automate that in any way? I'm assuming they use a desktop.
Well, last week, Stacy and I thought about this question, actually.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
Because she has no problem emailing reports, but I do, and that's okay.
Yeah,
everybody has their thing, and it's totally cool.
Yep.
So to automate them, so the automation is available to email. You can do auto emails. I don't know if you can auto email all PDFs in one email through QBO, or if it's each individual class
yes.
set up.
It would be 75 emails.
75 emails. So that sounds really not.
That's not going to work,
but,
right?
But unless there's 75 going to 75 different people, and that.
Right, because actually, let me correct myself. You're setting up the schedule in QBO as a group of the group. So what I would do is I would create a report group called P&L by class, and I'd have 75 reports in there, and then I would set the schedule for that group. So really it's one event.
Right.
But you choose who it's going to go to. It might be 75 emails, but it's one actual setup event. I don't have to, I don't have to email it out 75 times or something like that.
Right. Yeah, there's not
That's
a
what I mean.
answer. on getting an automated report. Of course, there's always third-party applications that can pull them, ODBC connection, all the rest of it. I don't think we know enough information, and I say that because I don't know how many players are involved here. Are we talking one person? Are we talking 15 department heads for 75 different classes where one department head has 5 different classes, the other guy's got 10, the other one's got 2. I mean, there's a lot more information that I would be asking the client in order to help them make the right decision for them. Obviously, if there's 30 or 40 people who are trying to get into QuickBooks, just to see a class report, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Plenty of reporting dashboards that can solve for that.
Totally.
Log in and go look at their report, and you can set them up for permission to see specific reports, and they don't need to be in QuickBooks.
QVinci. QVinci.com is one of them. There's a lot of them. That's a great one.
Great dashboard application. A couple of others that we've been working with, LivePlan. That's not
LivePlan. Good.
a little bit different than, it's not a class tracking solution necessarily, but
Right.
LivePlan is another good dashboard planning tool. And Bodhi
Right.
another one. Now we have a client
Tree.
right now in Bodhi Tree who is has 4 companies. So they've got 4 different companies, and they want to be able to just easily go in. They don't want to go into QuickBooks. They don't want to do that stuff. So we have them set up on Bodhi Tree, and they can very easily toggle between the two. They can put forecasts in there and look at industry comparisons based on their I always say it wrong, the NASC number.
You know who else? Stacy's been digging Fathom. 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 It's another one.
Yeah.
And there's another one called Spotlight Reporting. I have not really looked at them, but so there's a lot. But I mean, so yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't really have a dog in the fight at the end of the day. There is a way to automate the auto send, but if you can't auto send reports out of QBO because of your state, or I know North Carolina can't really do it, it's got to be encrypted. So these aren't encrypted reports. They're just right in the body of the email, right? It's just an HTML kind of. I think it's called HTML anyway. So yeah, how would you do it in desktop? You can't auto send anything, so you would have to email the group. But what's nice is in desktop in 15 now, I can select all 75 and email in a batch, which I couldn't before.
Right.
That's pretty cool. So I can email all of them. And so again, it's one event. It's just not an automatic way. So yes, you can do it. And I do like your ideas on the third parties, because why not? I guess they just try it for a while, and if it becomes just too labor intensive, they might just go to a QVinci or something, you know?
Yeah, so part of the stuff that I really try to look at for the client is, do they really need to be in QuickBooks? Are they ever doing anything with regards to transactional decisions? Not just are they deciding, but are they going to make the changes themselves? And if they're not having participation in that, there's absolutely no point in me having them, adding them to the, teaching them how to go to QuickBooks Online, or getting them a Citrix setup with Unidata, which is what we do.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. And so, but if we don't really need them to be in QuickBooks, then we get them a dashboard. And the analytical tools in a dashboard are not something anybody wants to do themselves. But the key to it is that the QuickBooks file and the QuickBooks data is 100% accurate at all times, at all times possible. And so you may have a month-end cutoff, and you may have whatever your plan is with that client, and really spend the time and teach them how to look at the reports and teach them how to look at the analytics to make business decisions. If you're not on the phone with your clients in the last week with them, like, hey, I've got to look at my numbers with you. I know it's the end of the year, but I've got to see where I stand. I need to make some decisions. Then there's maybe some communication that's wrong there. And I say that because it's happened to me. Not every year have I had clients beating down my door for the last week wanting to meet with me, and where I'm literally on the phone from 8 in the morning until 7 o'clock at night just trying to be able to get to everybody because they're finally woken up, which is a whole other problem. But, I wanted to talk to them a month ago, but they're, anyway, that's a whole other story. So, but those are the conversations we should be having throughout the year, in addition to the year end. And it's just really I just find it really funny. It's like I'm going to get ready for tax season. Well, you know what? It's friggin' already here. I didn't get
man. I swear I just e-filed mine, but I got Sweet. Yeah, we'll be doing a couple months here.
So on IRS, I'm on there. You know, they have an email, kind of like Intuit Pro News Central, where they
Yes.
have the email with the information. So I'm on the IRS email chain. You know, they know that we're friends. We're sort of friends, the IRS and I. Anyway, official word as of yesterday is that the IRS will open accepting e-filing returns on January 20th.
Hey.
That's what they're saying as of yesterday. They obviously are the boss of everybody. So,
Right.
but right now it looks like January 20th is our actual e-file submission acceptance day. So that's another good little tip for those that don't know. You know, so people that don't do tax returns, you still should friggin' know that.
Yeah, January 20.
You don't know that. You may not be a tax preparer, but your bookkeeping clients or consulting clients, if they ever ask the question or that conversation comes up, you should know the answer to that. Just
Yeah,
go throw that
January
out there.
That's good. Good to know.
Wait, you should know that. You work in Plano. Like I'm
I
telling
know.
you, I want you to know that. You work in what? Intuit Tax Headquarters.
That's right.
The best office, in Intuit Corporation is in Plano.
Wow. It's good. I think I like the California ones better.
Well, I like
Because
it.
I like California, but
They have
it's
nice
just
trees.
by the trees. I think other than that, yeah, Plano's nice, and I've been there. You know, I've been in Plano longer. I was in Tucson. Now I'm going on 10 years, and this year, and you know, I was in Tucson for like 3.5. So it's amazing. I've been 6.5 here, which is just crazy, you know. So.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, you know, Woody, so you know,
Six.
as some of the year is ending and things are happening, it's such a great time to, you know, shift gears and make some decisions, get things done. And we're just, you know, Powerful Accounting is on the pulse. I mean, we're really excited. The whole team is really pumped up, and I'm just hoping that we can really make it happen in 2015. You know, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's encouraging, it's inspiring, and I'm sure it's relatable to people who are watching or listening for the next couple of weeks. You know, it's nice to hear you share how you guys are growing. So I'm sure that's a goal of many firms, and good time to focus on the new year. Now, to keep on with the theme of classes and income statements,
Yep.
this particular accountant has a client that uses several classes for divisional income statements, but they're going to be changing how revenue and expenses are allocated next year. So I'm not, now that could mean they're creating new charts of accounts perhaps, or new accounts, or just different amounts tagging a particular class. But their thought is, she thinks that they have to create a whole new set of classes for 2015 to reflect the new allocation and possibly disable the old classes or making them inactive so that at least they're not an option, but sometimes they show up in reports. So that's not always ideal, but it should be okay. But she doesn't want to create a new QuickBooks file, which I don't really see, but my question is this, and then feel free to weigh in. If they're just changing the allocation, I mean, does that necessarily have to, why would you create a whole bunch of new classes? I'm assuming you could still use the classes you have and then just add a few more for the new category classifications, I guess, if you want, or divisions for the income statement. And the accounts don't really matter if they're adding new revenue or expense accounts. So I guess my thing is I need to know more about what did she mean by changing the allocation, whether it affects classes or not.
Well, so it's, again, we're going to make some assumptions, but if they have certain classes, let's just say they had 10, we're going to be hypothetical because that's the only way we can really go with it. Let's say they had 10 classes and they had certain allocations of, say, overhead to those particular classes. And so, you know, they have, you know, distribution, production, warehouse, whatever. Let's just say that those are a few classes. And maybe they have an allocation percentage that they use for each of those classes. So let's just say they have production at 10%, warehouse is, you know, 45%, and so on. And maybe they name the classes with those percentages. So they have these classes, and that way, when they do the journal entry, they're able to see really quickly that, oh, right, this class has to get 20%, this class gets 35%, this class gets 20%, whatever. And they're able to use that the naming functionality within the classes. So when they're making that journal entry, that's one thought, I'm guessing. Obviously, for me, nope, maybe not obviously, but for me, if I'm doing allocation journal entries, I'm typically memorizing them, and in the memo, I'm putting that information in the memo, allocation of overhead expenses, 25% to, 25% or whatever it is, and then I have the class over to the right, and it's all memorized. So, but I've also seen people, we've all likely seen this, where someone will have a chart of accounts, and it'll have, 2015 as the parent account, office supplies, 2015, repairs and maintenance, 2015, and then 2016 rolls around, and they make a whole nother chart of accounts because we literally had that happen this summer. We came across a client, they had a chart of accounts for 2013 and a chart of accounts right below it for 2014, and they had classes, and it was kind of like giving Abby some 4 different colors of paint and just letting her go
that'd be fun.
So, because she probably make great painting, although I think she studied the paper for much longer than we think. And she would go at it, because she's very methodical. But, but I think, I'm just guessing, because I don't really know more information, but I think that, that could be some reason why. But it's a great question, because as we're rolling into the new year, so many clients think they are like starting over. I had a client who called, I was actually talking to her at 7 o'clock tonight, and she's like, my QuickBooks is all messed up. Things disappeared. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't want to hear that right now. It's 7 o'clock at night, and you know how to cook soup. If you told me to bring over meat, I would bring over like a few steaks because it's meat. But what you wanted me to bring over was, pot roast or some crazy thing, which I wouldn't even be able to pick that out. I said, so don't tell me things disappeared out of QuickBooks, because that ain't possible. Okay. Well, she goes, well, maybe, and then she got fancy with me. Maybe it's corrupt. I said, okay, I must be saying that too often, because you don't even know what that means either. Anyway, but as we're working with our clients at year end, and we're seeing, they don't know what to do. They're in headlights. The year's gonna roll over, and at midnight tomorrow night, when that ball drops, retained earnings is gonna shine across the world. Prior period earnings is going to roll over tomorrow night. Right. And so they don't know what to do. They're paralyzed. So we need to be out there helping them understand. Don't have to set up all new classes. Don't set up a new chart of accounts. Don't start a new QuickBooks file. Yeah. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. So, no, I wouldn't do a new file there either, and I would just add the new classes they want to, and I don't think they're necessarily going to be old ones.
Right.
All right. So that was good. Hey, I wanted to break into not a song, but the difference of QuickBooks Enterprise Solutions. The pricing has changed. You have a lot of enterprise clients, right?
Yeah, actually, I was talking to one at 6 o'clock.
Right. So it's new enterprise purchases. You're basically buying the software every year. It's the same. Whatever. If I buy it at 5 user at $2,800 today, I'm going to pay $2,800. It's an annual subscription now. I'm going to pay $2,800 a year from now. So the full service plan and everything, it's 3 different levels. And so I wanted to break it down. And if you go to QBES.com, it has a good grid. But I've been getting this question a lot. I figured listeners would want to know as well. You can click on pricing, and it has users 1 to up to 30. We'll just look at 5, which is typical. There's silver, gold, and platinum. Silver has the advanced reporting, and you're just your basic enterprise. If you need payroll, it's the gold. So I can't just add payroll like a la carte to the enterprise. It's included in the gold edition. And then platinum would have advanced pricing and advanced inventory plus the payroll. Now this is like, if you cancel it, it's like canceling Dish TV or DirecTV or your cell phone. You're not going to be able to access the program anymore, open it, and therefore even though your file will be on your server or your computer, you won't be able to open it. So it's a big change from just, you buy 15, a year later you have a full service plan of like $1,200, $1,500, whatever, depending on your level. I think we went all the way up to 2,000. But if you decide to let the full service plan lapse, only the connected pieces fall away, but you still have access to the program. You know, you can open your file and do the work. You just don't have the advanced inventory and some of the advanced modules. But now, and this has been a while for a month, but I apologize for never bringing it up. Literally, it's an annual subscription. It's the annual price. It's not a full service plan, you know, like a third of the main price you bought 2 years ago or whatever. If I have a 5-user and I'm just doing, let's say I'm doing gold because I want payroll, that's retails $3,100. By the way, there's 40% off right now. It's $1,860. But next year I'm going to be paying $3,100. The year after that I'll be paying $3,100. The year after that I'll be paying $3,100. So it's important. The price and value of enterprise has gone up with everything that we're putting in it. But I wanted to make sure that was clear to people that it's an annual subscription. It's like a QuickBooks Online subscription monthly, let's say. If you don't pay, right, then you can't access the file. You're not going to be able to use the program. Now, that being said, for those that have 14 or 13 and they just haven't renewed yet, you haven't got to your renewal date, if you let your renewal lapse, that's fine. You'll be able to use your program because you're not in the new subscription platform. But as soon as you renew, you're in it, and then next year you'll be paying, you know, you're basically buying it new every year. I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but QBES.com, you click on pricing, and it gives you the information of what the annual price is. So, Don, that might affect, you know, some of your clients that use enterprise.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm plugging in.
They're going to be used to like they're going to be used to a less than $2,000 full service plan. You know, let's say a 10-user client, but they're going to be spending $3,100 or I don't know, whatever it is, you know, a year. So just so you know, for those of you guys that do a lot with enterprise, make sure you're explaining that to people buying it. Look, you're paying this. You're going to be paying this program price every year. It's an annual subscription. So it's quite an increase, but a very powerful QuickBooks program. So you know, I suppose maybe it always should have been that much. I don't know.
So Woody, couple questions that have arisen lately from clients. These are kind of good year-end questions coming in from clients, right?
Okay.
Which I think is great because it's real life. You know, it's real good scenarios, good client scenarios. Had a call with a client tonight who is an S corp. And needs some capital in the company, and put $20,000 of his own money into the company, and wanted to know if that would reduce his taxable income because he's taken some shareholder loan out of the company throughout the year, and so he's kind of paying back the shareholder loan, and so he was hoping that would reduce his taxable income. So it's a great question. He also wanted to know go ahead.
Well, first, in QuickBooks, so someone either did a journal entry or made a deposit, credited the owner equity, and debited the asset account, right? Cash account?
Well, so opposite. So he would have credited his shareholder loan, because shareholder loan is an asset on the balance sheet of the company. So when the shareholder draws money out, they owe the money back, technically, right? And you don't want your clients to have, $1 million in shareholder loan. That's going on the balance sheet to the IRS, right? So you want to kind of be careful with that.
Dear. Yeah, see, that's why I'm not a practitioner.
Yeah, it's a great, no, but it's a great question. You know what, Woody? There's a lot of people who are practitioners who don't know that either.
Well, but see, the first entry, though, you said that he put in his own money. I'm assuming before he did the shareholder loan, he credited owner equity and debited the checking account, right? Wouldn't that have been the first original entry?
So when he originally took it, he credited the checking account and debited the shareholder loan. So that's the original transaction, right?
Oh, I'm not getting that. Okay.
Well,
so he didn't really increase his checking account in the QuickBooks file. Isn't that the whole point?
Well, when he put the $20,000 back, he did. So he debited.
Oh, got you. I got you.
He debits the checkbook and then credits shareholder loan. But it was a great question. And then his second question to me was, well, I went in and I put the money in the QuickBooks against my name. And I said, okay, well, what do you mean by that? Well, I went, and so I have a credit on my name. So
what did he set himself up as?
He received a payment as a customer.
He's a customer.
He wants credit, man. I get that. So, you know, he's an owner of a company. He's, you know, he has many employees, and so we don't really let him do a lot in QuickBooks.
No.
So, you know, he did his best, but you know what the best thing was? That he told me about it, so when I went in there, it was easy for me to know, you know, I'll be calling him like, where did you get this money? And that's, you know, we ask questions constantly. He probably just wanted to avoid me calling him and asking him the question, but it was a good question. And I said, Joe, you know what? This is why we have people that work for you that post those transactions for you. I'm gonna go in and fix it for you, because he's still, you know, I know him. He's been my guy for many years. And I said, but don't worry. I gotta go in. I'll fix it. It'll be fine. And so, you know, just having that interaction with the client, he's thinking he's reducing his profitability. And so in his brain, his taxable income went down by $20,000. I'm glad he called me.
Wow.
Because what's happening is people do that, or another classic is they buy $100,000 in inventory. That's not helping you. That's not cost of goods sold, man. Don't do that. I had a liquor store 2 years ago in January. You know, we wrapping up his books, and I'm like, dude, your inventory increased by like $100,000. He's like, I got a really good deal, and I figured that way I could write it off. I said, dude, that is not going to help you. Why don't you call me before you think for yourself on that? Like, did you go to school for that? Because, you know, you are not.
All right, so I have a question then. How would he have entered the purchase of the inventory to reflect better on the taxes?
Well, if he's getting a good, there's a difference between cash flow, good business decisions, and getting a good deal on a lot of liquor that you know you're going to sell and get the cash flow in the next 3 months. There's a difference between planning out the cash flow and thinking you're getting a tax write-off.
Right.
They're two very different decisions. So if you say to me, hey, listen, I could buy this $50,000 of inventory and I'm going to get a really good deal, I might say to him, well, go ahead and buy the inventory. Let's make it prepaid. Maybe it's prepaid inventory and you haven't received it yet. There's a couple of different things that are happening there. But what are, you know, asking the question, what is your purpose, right? So what's your purpose of the purchase? Is it to save money and you're saving a significant amount and then means we're going to make more next year? Rock on. But if you think it's going to save you tax money, it's not the right decision. And so, you know, there are different thoughts as you're working with clients to make decisions on tax planning versus cash flow versus discounted purchasing. And
see, this is why you gotta have and not just a pro advisor, but a pro advisor that would understand the implications of these accounting decisions on the tax side, which I'm sure is, I mean, that's why it goes back to your original point, is a bookkeeper who doesn't do taxes knowing why January 20th or the January 20th the date. I'm sure that's got to be really instill a lot of confidence. Like if I'm selling guitars or something and you're my pro advisor and you understand, like, I have this ability to buy a bunch of stuff off eBay, you know, just the close of the year because I know, you know, it's Christmas time, I'm going to sell a lot of guilds, we'll say.
Right.
And I find a bunch and I spend like $5,000 and get a bunch, and you're like, well, I mean, what? So you would be able to tell me, so how are you going to enter that QuickBooks, and then here's how it's going to reflect, because it's inventory asset, right? The IRS is going to come after that. Is that correct? I would assume it's your asset, you own it, it's your value.
Yeah, but you're also not getting an expense when you think because you're spending $5,000 that you've got an expense, when really you don't. You just bought an asset that's not sold yet. And people, you know, that's some of the mentality. You have to think ahead. And don't be, like for me, I had another client who I was talking to, I don't do their tax return. And so they're asking me questions, and I'm like, listen, I can provide this data file to your account to your CPA who prepares your tax return. You need to call them. I only know what's in your QuickBooks file. I can only advise you based on what this says. I don't know if you own stock. I don't know if you have other investment properties. I don't know if you're phasing out of deductions. Like, I don't know anything about you outside of this data file because maybe they've never shared their return. So, you know, I have no problem saying to them, hey, this is not, I can't help you with this. But they need to know that, too, that don't look to me on January 28th to help you with your tax questions because I'm not your tax accountant, and it's okay to say that. I had another client last Friday, Woody, who had someone working on their file, And I looked and I said, holy camole, what happened in the last, about 45 days since the last time we talked? You're up $50,000 in profit. Your January 15th is not going to be a happy day. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're up $50,000 in profit. She goes, that's not possible. I said, well, okay, let's dig into the QuickBooks file. Let's take a look at what's going on. And what happened was she had deferred about $50,000 in deferred revenue for an event for 2015. Wasn't posted properly. It was there was an assumption that was made by whoever was handling the QuickBooks file that it was income, and it could have detrimental effects on the tax return. And I was sitting there going, oh my goodness, I've got my calculator, I'm almost having a heart attack.
Right.
We planned throughout the year for this so that I don't want that phone call to say, hey, you've got a $25,000 tax bill. Those are the calls I want, right?
Right. See, Don, that's great. That's good. That's great that you guys are all considering that and you're always watching that. And
we're not always awesome at it, but those are pieces.
Yeah.
How about this, Woody? How about this?
Yeah.
So you have a client who has a website, and the details aren't coming into QuickBooks because the details are being held on the website. The data is being dumped into the QuickBooks file.
Okay.
So question, get access to that website back end. Because the details may not be coming into QuickBooks, but there are deposits that are coming into QuickBooks that will affect different revenue accounts or deferred revenue or inventory versus non-inventory. And so I would just, that's one of our biggest pushes this year is be present and pay attention. Know your clients 100%. And so we as our firm, we had our meeting a couple weeks ago. That was our biggest push. I said, ladies, here's the deal. And Kevin Gervais, poor Kevin,
they're all Patriots fans though.
Well, yeah, and Kevin Gervais is a Yankees fan, and we don't talk sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, it's okay. I've forgiven him.
All right. Okay.
But our big push is be present and pay attention, and we need to know everything about our clients. If our clients are having, a sale event, we need to understand that that's going to come up. We need to be listening and talking. And here's the biggest thing, Woody, talking.
Yeah.
Like I told my team, I said, if I find out that you haven't talked to the clients you're working on at least twice a month, even if it's for 5 minutes, repercussions, you don't want the Brolin repercussions because they are not pretty. But I told them, I said, and that includes me. I talk to people a lot, but we're doing a restructuring of clients. You get to know the client you're getting. And you look at their website, and you call them, and you talk to them, and spend 15 minutes, and get to know them at least twice a month. It's a big deal. People are texting and emailing too much.
Yes. Talking, communicating like old school.
We're still people.
Yep. Although I saw this picture of people in the 50s riding a train from like Connecticut into Manhattan, and they're all reading their newspaper. Like they all get a newspaper up in front of their faces. You seen that pic? And they're like, yeah, we're really, pointing at how people say with the phones we're not really communicating or interacting, and yet it was no better back then. But no, I hear you. Talking. That's great. I think I feel very hopeful about your clients. They must love it.
Well, they're going to find out because, like I said, Nicole coming on is so critical. She came in today. Technically, her first day is Monday, but I begged her to come in today, her last day yesterday at her prior employment, and I begged her to come in. And when she walked in this morning, I just started handing over stuff to her, and I was like, listen, I can't explain it. Go call these people, figure out what they need. Figure this out, figure that. And she just was like, give it. What else you got? Tell me what you need.
Wow.
And she was intelligent about it. She wasn't, it wasn't even, it was awesome. It was awesome. She's young too, Woody. I'm old, ornery, and she's.
I'm old.
You're adorable.
I'm wicked old.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
I'm gonna be 48 in 2 weeks.
Wow.
2.5 weeks. 48 years old.
Man, did you ever think? Listen, I thought I'm in bonus years right now. Yeah. When I was 16, I thought 30 was my limit. So I'm in my bonus years right now. 14 years later, I'm 44. Bonus years. Yeah. You know. So anyway, I hope the show. I hope that everyone had a great Christmas and or whatever Hanukkah, whatever their.
Happy holidays. I've just been saying happy holidays. I don't, it's fine.
Well,
we had a good time.
I do the Christmas thing. So
I like that. I say that too. I kind of mix them around, But no, just hope it was some good time with family and some friends, and you got to rest a little, Yep. And and Abby's getting up at night and in the morning early, so we're not really resting. And Nicola really is not really resting. I'm getting some rest. She's not. And
I just want to say thank you so much for recognizing that. That's really me being a little crazy.
No, she's a rock, I'm telling you.
Yeah, she's a rock. So I guess Seth asked a question.
And you know what else?
Oh,
you know what else? You know what else, Nicola? She's like one of the top 3 best jackass whisperers in the world.
I want to know who the other 2 are.
Yeah, they're probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Seth asked about the enterprise, because I'm telling you that's important. We'll talk about it another time, but ProAdvisors still get the Enterprise Accountant Edition. Note though, it doesn't come with the advanced reporting, which is a bummer. You're gonna have to pay for that. Because of the cost we have into it with a third party, we can't just give that one away for free. So because ProAdvisors, you get it part of your ProAdvisor membership pack or subscription, the Enterprise Accountant. So it'll have advanced inventory turned on, ironically, but not the advanced reporting.
Right.
So, and I get all that, and it's mostly an internal conversation, so I can't really mention much. But the advanced reporting is very powerful. I just did a sales commission, variable commission report using it that I learned from the product manager, and I posted that on our YouTube page. It's a great, you guys are going to want this report functionality. So I think we're figuring out a way, how do we get it to ProAdvisors who have enterprise clients that are going to have advanced reporting, because even the silver level of enterprise annual subscription has advanced reporting, but the enterprise account in the ProAdvisor pack doesn't. It's not turned on. So I think we're going to figure out a way to make it like wicked discounted. I think it's like $65 or something nominal like that. But it is very powerful. But yes, Seth, it's a good question. You'll still be getting enterprise. You're getting point of sale, your accountant edition. And stuff like that. And
I just want to say another thing too to Seth David, that I hope he is going to be able to report back to me how much my team is utilizing the awesome School of Bookkeeping subscriptions that I paid for. That if they are not participating in that venue, I want to know about it, and there will be rolling heads across Mullen Hill.
Yes.
I just want to give him that message because he's watching, and he can't say anything, which is even better.
No, so that's great. He and he had a great pick on Twitter. Something over tax season. It's really funny. So if you guys check that out, I think Marnie Stretch retweeted it. That's how I saw it. So again, thanks. And thus ends the 4th year anniversary of Radio Free, QB Show. Yep. And I want to thank all the sponsors who came on and gave away gifts. It was great. We had T-sheets. We had Avalara. We had Fundera. I love their light blue T-shirt. And then we had the big one from Intuit and
Seth
the PR team. Seth David, of course, and Eric Greenspan as well. And that 1 year of the School of Bookkeeping. That's awesome. That was probably my favorite gift. And then, because I think that's so impactful from an educational awareness standpoint. But then being able for Intuit to send someone, again, Michelle Tank Cement, to QB Connect, and you can find out more about the QuickBooks Connect. I think it's qbcon2015.com. Don't forget about the Providence QB Connect local event at the Omni Providence Hotel, and that's qbclocal.com. Don will be there. And then I think they're serving lobster at lunch at that Providence thing. I forgot to mention. Probably, Don's going to be there. That's important. But serving lobster at lunch, I think, really put it over the top. Probably should go. And then, they're going to give away like an iPad. Ron Baker, his new book, he'll be there. And there's just a bunch of people that are going to be there. It's going to be fun. All-star cast of local New England speakers. And actually, Heather Slattery, I don't know if you've met her, Don. She's a local in Providence. She's an advanced cert. She'll be there.
Rhode Island superstar.
That's right. And
yep. I'm excited to see
just firm of the future. So be part of that. That'll be fun. And then the 15 other events we're going to have across the country. And it sounds like we're going to have even more in the summer. So that's pretty exciting, too. I had no idea about that. Oops. Don, you're still there. Okay, good.
I'm right here.
Yeah, we've come to the end. We will see you guys next Tuesday on the 6th of January. So Happy New Year. Stay safe tomorrow night. If you plan on drinking a lot, stay in. Just stay in. It's just another night, right? And then, Don, any final thoughts?
Nope. Just love you, Woody. Miss Stacy tonight. And love
Stacey's
Chris Repetto coming on. Great show. And thank you so much to everyone who listens and tweets and makes it fun for us. Because without that, there's no point in doing this.
No, man. I'll just go play guitar.
Yeah. I might actually go visit my
kids. Yeah, I know, Don. Come on, you got to take one of these Tuesdays off and hang out with the girls.
Nah, you're 15 and 16. There was. I told them to get on my schedule. Ask Nicole.
That's awesome.
They're used to it. They know.
I like the slow-mo video of them seeing the sea kayaks and stuff. That was pretty precious.
Woody, I have another video of Emily, and the slow-mo video was classic, but I have another video of Emily flipped out over her gumball machine, and I think we're at like 4,200 views on Facebook.
Wow. That's awesome.
I don't even, people are like, you should put it on YouTube, you'll get paid. I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't know how to do that. Number two, that wasn't the point of video. The video was for the kids, and boy, are they.
No, we could show you. You should get paid for that. That'll be a big one.
Well, I sent it to Ellen DeGeneres, and I asked her to come and get a gumball from Emily's gumball machine. So we'll see if that happens.
So we got Ray, just a side note, then we'll close it. We got Ray an iPad mini, because she's ready, and she screamed. All right, she screamed when she figured it out, and she screamed so loud that Abby started crying.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, she was all freaked out. Yeah, it was just,
That's awesome. I love that. What was Isaac's big present?
Oh, he got a leapfrog. It's like a leap pad, educational. He loves it. I was walking in the room the other day, and he told me that the esophagus is really important in the digestive process.
Really? He gets that from Nick, not from you, buddy.
Oh, no.
Okay. And I would expect that Ray has like investigation apps on her iPad.
Totally.
I would expect her to be doing some research and maybe some fraud investigation. Maybe we can do some sub her out a little bit.
She would love that. She's way into that.
Yeah.
She's very particular. Very particular. Always knows when something's wrong.
Love it.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, hey, it's good stuff. We're still in the holiday weeks, although it almost doesn't feel it. But hope you get some time away, Dawn. Right? Thursday, maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna chill on Thursday. That's gonna be my chill day.
Watching football. Yep.
Watching football. Just probably have a couple naps.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, thanks for watching tonight, you guys, and we'll see you next week. And talk to you then.
Love you, Woody.
All right. You too.
All right, buddy. Out.
Throw away thumb drives, no attachments. Get the files anywhere when you're permitted access. What's the matter? Frustrated with the hassle? Jump up in the cloud and join us in the castle.
High up in the clouds.